Hey y'all, welcome to Amateur Therapy, where we keep it real and aim to heal. I'm your host, Sydney J, and today we'll be joined by my very, very dear friend, Jawuan Jefferson, also known in the streets as Brandon Bustdown. So he'll be here as my first guest, and we're super excited to have him. Welcome. Can you hear
Uh,
me okay?
I can hear you. You hear me?
Perfect. Yes. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm
Thanks.
happy to be here.
So, I'll give you a second to introduce yourself, and we can move on from there with the flow of the conversation.
My name is Jawuan Jefferson. Um, I never introduced myself now formally before. Uh, Me and Sydney, great friends, and I'm here to share a great experience with you guys.
Yeah,
Dialogue.
yeah. So, as you all know, in our introduction, I introduced him as my very, very dear friend. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different because instead of me sharing advice and that ear to listen, even though I will be listening, Juwan will be acting as the therapist today. And he will be sharing his advice and his ear to listen and listening to my concerns and my issues, which are that I have commitment issues. And I think that I wanted to start off this journey of amateur therapy and the show off on the right foot, letting you guys know that I don't have everything together as some people think I do. I'm very happy with my life and at peace, but like there are curiosities, there are struggles that I have, and I want us all to be on the same plane, even plane that we know, like, listen, nobody has all of the answers, but we need to be committed to our healing and to our growth. So we're going to start this off with talking about how I am not a perfect person, how you guys think I am. So yeah. Anyways, um let's start off by Juan. I'll give you actually, how are you doing today? Let
I
me
was
have
gonna say, let's start off by asking. I was like, how are we doing? I was gonna say, how are you feeling mentally and physically and all that. But I'm doing good. Got little hangover, but we good.
a hangover.
No hangover.
Well,
No,
sounds like I had a great night.
no, I don't ever do anything when I do this. I do it to myself. But I'm good. Other than that, Rich is really not even a hangover. My stomach just hurt, but I'm good.
Good,
I'm great. I feel I'm in a good place, in a happy place.
good.
Um, it's funny that I'm the one doing the therapy for the commitment issues we're talking about, when I've been lying to people about a release date for like a year. So it's funny, but it's gonna be a good one. How are you?
I'm well. Yesterday I had a tough day mentally. But like it was really surrounding the issues that we're going to talk about today. And I really was struggling. I was like, why? You guys might hear my dog in the background with his little collar,
I
but
thought that was my mic. I was like,
no,
my
it's
mic.
my dog. Sorry. But I really was having a really bad, like, mental war with myself. Like, why am I struggling to commit to like my ideas and my aspirations? And like, I was just like, all right, well, I've had this idea to do this show like for at least 2 months now. And I was in a space where I was so uncomfortable yesterday where I was like, this is something that's going to help me release like this issue that I have, like this thing that I'm struggling with, the commitment issues. And like, why not bring one of my best friends on and like actually like start this journey like to fixing that issue with myself, I guess. Well, not fixing, but healing from that issue and like letting go of that pattern, and like actually helping other people normalize spaces of like talking about their struggles and letting them know like your healing comes only from yourself. Like, yes, people can support you and help you and give you advice, but like the ultimate dictator of your healing is yourself. So yeah, yesterday mentally was tough, but today I'm super happy to be doing this because like I feel like I
There.
am like I feel like an addict, like addicted to not committing. And today I'm like committing to like following through with this show, this episode. You're holding me accountable, and I'm following through, like hopefully after we're done recording, like I'll be like, yes, I'm gonna edit this and it's gonna be posted, and that'll be like one of the first things I've committed to in a really long time. So thank you for asking. Other than that, spiritually doing amazing, and physically doing really well. I've been staying active and stretching every day, so that's good. Yeah.
I bought a basketball hoop, and me and my friend Josh set it up the other day. So I've been out there shooting around, trying to get slim. You feel me?
Okay, Kobe.
Stop trying to stay in a thick community, but you know, I'm teetering towards a little fat right now, so I'm trying. But actually, let's start. Actually, you said something that I actually want to talk about.
Yeah.
So with your commitment issues to like getting your ideas and getting everything out there, as we talk a lot, it always seems like you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the problem isn't committing, it's what to commit to first? I feel like that's a thing with you. That's a thing.
Yes. And it's so funny that you said that, because that was something I wanted to talk about today, and we can talk about it. So like I wonder if other people have this same issue. Like I genuinely always have a lot of ideas, and like as a creative I really struggle with choosing and like sticking to one thing, because there will be like issues or there will be something that pops up. I'm like, ooh, like I have a really great idea on how to like help with this, or like help people with this, or like help the world with this, or like I like to paint and I like to dance and I like to do so many different things. I have so many different interests and curiosities that I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know why I can't just settle on one thing. And it's so annoying. And it's like, thank you for reading me, because like I needed that. Like I need advice. Like how like can I intentionally choose one thing and like continue on with that? Like like, do you have that issue, or is it like just a me
Okay,
problem?
so I do. So here's how I've been helping get into it. So as you know, I'm an artist. I'm a creative as well.
Yes, follow him on SoundCloud. I'll put all that information. Follow him on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm gonna plug his information in.
Spotify and Apple Music got two different names. I don't know why I'm still busting on Brandon. What's what it be? But what my problem is, as you know, I've been working on my debut. Shut up and listen. That's been done. But my problem is with that is of putting it out is I'll go back and listen to it every time I want to tweak it, and then I go back and think, oh, I want to work on this. I want to work on that. When the main focus should be pushing shut up and listen. So now what I do now when working on a project, because shut up and listen is done. So I'm working on something new. And as I see, I get sidetracked a lot with projects. I want to do a bunch of projects. I just hit you and Zach the other day, like, yo, let's do a collab. Out of nowhere, I'm like, I always get these ideas, and I want to make my ideas come to life. But now I'm starting to realize you got to buckle down on just the one thing. Like, one is not bad. People think multitasking shows that you're just great. It's cool if you can multitask. That's fine. But if you can't focus on one thing, what
Right.
good is multitasking?
Yeah.
So what I do is now I sit down, I focus on one thing. So instead of my biggest problem with me coming into like doing our projects was I was trying to do 6 songs a
Right.
day. That's unrealistic. You're not gonna get the best quality. So now what I do is I sit now, I listen to, I'll do one song. Now one song could take a week, but the one song encompasses or like shows the whole body of work. So it keeps going and it keeps my mind on track. So when you're thinking of I got all these great ideas, I want to do all of them. Let's start out with one, but take it step by step. And then it kind of replaces that void of working on multiple things. Because look, now you're looking at, I've been working on one song. One song's done. That's like a whole project if you take a week to master it, do it the right way. So
Yeah.
one song's done. Okay, on to the next song done. And then once you get in that routine, it's like you're working on multiple things. Because then even when you're feeling like, oh, I want to go back and work on this, tweaking, but everything you're doing is going back into just one thing, the one overall goal. So how I do it is I have little goals inside of one goal to stay focused on the main goal.
That's beautiful. And like as you were talking about that, it really put a lot into perspective for me, because like I have been given that very similar advice, and like I have a problem with the application part. Um because I do have like a very sporadic mind, and I try to control that. I don't know if it's like, not to put my mom on blast, but she has like ADHD, and I don't know if like she passed it on to me or something. But like, yeah, I just like I need to control that. And as you were speaking, I was in my head, I usually get like pictures and visions while people are talking because I'm just a visual learner, so I think that translates to how I listen as well. And as you're speaking, I was picturing myself like walking, and it's like you were saying, like take things one step at a time, like do one thing inside that overall goal. So like walking, I have a destination, but I need to walk there, and like I'm like what I'm doing with all these projects, like trying to do things all at the same time and all at once, is like I'm tying my feet together and like trying to hop to the finish line. But like in doing that, I have a higher chance of falling and a higher chance of failing. So like why not keep on, like why keep tying my feet to different things that are pulling me in different directions instead of like cutting all those ties, choosing one destination and like taking it step by step, like on that path as you said. So yeah, also one other thing that sparked like a memory of mine when you were speaking was like that, oh, my brother's playing video game, but um like I read a book the other day. I literally finished it within less than a day. And it said we have to recognize the difference between activity and productivity. And I was like, I felt that in my spirit because it's like you're doing so much, but are you being productive? Like you're doing so much, but is it getting you anywhere? And it's like we have to be, me specifically, but like anyone else who deals with this problem, like we have to recognize if what we're doing is only hyperactivity or is it something that's actually creating product and creating something good and like just getting us closer to our aspired goal. So that really hit home for me. So thank you for that. And like it's just reminding me of the simple things. I think we make life so complex for ourselves, and just having this conversation, airing this out, is like helping me so much already. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for sharing like that. That's also a struggle of yours too, because it makes me feel less alone in this, because that's really been kind of an anxiety of mine. Like, am I the only one who deals with this? Like, am I the only one who like has these commitment issues to like what I really care about, like my dreams, my aspirations, and these ideas, these great ideas that I have. So yeah, that's good. I
And,
have, sorry, go ahead.
and one more thing I want to say, and like kind of like how I'm tying it into like the phone. Everything on your phone is like you're accessible to do multiple things at once. It's like the way we're living, we're kind of like tasked to multitask. Like you can do multiple things
Wow.
on one screen now. So like the way we're living is to multitask.
Wow.
So it makes it so when you think about it, oh, I'm on my phone, I can switch to do this and switch to do that. It's kind of hard when you want to do it from a creative perspective because you can't just switch from one thing to switch to that. The energy is different.
Mm.
If I'm working on this project and the mood of this project is a very somber mood of the project, and then I move over to this next project and I'm uplifting, it's mad high and the beat's crazy. You're never gonna be able to switch between that. It's never gonna. So you
Right.
get so what I say is just keep everything in a circle. Keep everything in one circle, or keep it like a glass. Fill that glass up, then drink your water. So like you fill the glass up.
Cheers.
Yep, you fill the glass up. That's one step. That's you making everything. You making the steps. That's you making everything. And then you drink the water. You're reaping what you did. Like you're reaping the benefits of everything you did. But if
Mm-hmm.
you just make the glass of water, if you make the glass of water, uh,
Okay, so you were talking about the glass and filling it up, and then drinking it to reap the benefits and everything. And then it's like if you fill one glass up and then you don't drink it. And I was
oh yeah,
thinking,
so I was saying,
sorry,
oh
go ahead.
yeah, I was let me finish that. So what I'm saying is, so say if you fill the glass up, right, and then oh, I'm about to go make something to eat. Oh, I'm about to go do this. Oh, I'm about to do that. You're not gonna want that glass of water when you're done doing everything. It's
Mm,
not cold anymore. It's not. You're gonna look at it like what is this? I don't want this anymore. I want to do something else now.
yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Like all I can say is yes. All you gotta do is say yes. But yeah, no, honestly, that's so real and good to like put it in like real world like examples, because that's really what I'm doing with my life, like, and my ideas. And it's so like I'm talking about this because like I want to get out of this pattern. And this is really liberating my mind right now. This is really liberating my mind right now. So let's switch into same topic but different point that I really need help on. So I feel like I genuinely know my purpose, but I struggle with how it's gonna like be lived out, I guess. Like I know that like my purpose is to empower and motivate people and to bring them to a point where they feel like they have the tools to live out their life fully with joy, peace, and like just with a head that is filled with like tools that's like, okay, if I face this challenge, I know how to combat it. And like, yeah, just like pretty much that. And my ultimate goal is like, I want to be a philanthropist. I know that's like not a job, but like I want to accumulate as much like relationships and monetary wealth that I can be able to implement projects that I want. Like I want to build a pantry, and I want to call it the Peace Pantry, and I want to build like a resort home where people can come for like a week or two and like really be invested in their healing and really be invested in like counseling and getting their mind right and stuff like that. So anyways, I don't want to put all that out there because I know there's bad juju out there, so I won't give all the tea on my life. But like there are things that I really aspire for and like are ways that I want to live out my purpose. But like I struggle right now like being 22 and like having all these ideas, and it's like I know my purpose, but like God, what do you want me to do? Like being, you know, how spiritual I am. I'm like, God, like, what do you want me to do right now? And like, I've chosen since August, like, I'm like, I'm not working. Like, so I'm currently unemployed. I'm like, I'm not working. I'm going to meditate every day. I'm going to read my Bible. I'm going to like talk to God. I'm going to talk to myself and like figure out what I need to be doing. And like, I'm not ashamed of that because, first of all, your girl was strapped. I saved all my money this whole summer that I worked. But like, I'm like okay with being unemployed because I don't want to just pick up another job and that's not where I'm supposed to be. And I'm like willfully like dismissing what like where and what God wants me to do with my life, or like where and what I'm supposed to be doing like in the universe and stuff. So how do I like deal with that feeling of like I know my purpose, I know what I'm aligned in this life to do, but like not knowing exactly how it's gonna play out, or like being comfortable with that unknown factor of like how my purpose is going to come to fruition and like lived out every day.
So what I want to say is there's only one certainty is that people hate uncertainty.
Yes.
Everybody hates uncertainty. Everybody hates not knowing what to do, especially in the day and age now. Everybody hates not knowing what to happen, not knowing what's next, not being in control, this, that, and the third. So, like you said, but here's what I'm gonna say to you. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do to get to where you want to get. And I tell people this all the time, and I gotta take my own advice. If you have a goal and a job that you are working is in between you and your goal, quit your job.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. If you feel like, so I talk to you all the time, and they're like, yo, I really want to do this, but I have to do this. I have to work. And if you, what you should do with that case is save to the point, make to the point where you can quit your job. And then everything goes out there. Like you tell me your purpose is to motivate. You tell me your purpose is to help people in life. That's what you want to do. So what is a medium? So there should be a medium in you doing that. Like a way, a medium for people to be able to get that help from you.
Yeah.
That medium. What so my question to you is what should that medium be?
Like at the okay, I want to answer one question that you didn't ask before and then answer the question that you asked. So before that, it's like what I currently am doing to do that is like on Instagram doing my Tenchi talks, doing my motivational talks or whatever and stuff like that. And then like even this, like this is something that I wanted to create and am creating, like amateur therapy. I'm not a therapist, but one day I aspire to be a therapist and like really help people professionally. But like I wanted to create this space to invite people into a safe space where they can talk about things with me and like help them. And I do that in private too. Like we always have conversations about like mental health, just like where we are in life, how we're feeling. Like I have other conversations in private with other friends. I've literally had someone who you all also know, but I'm not going to disclose their name on here because, you know, they didn't give me permission. But like, they literally told me like, yo, if it wasn't for you constantly being there for me, like I would have killed myself. And like, oh my God, I'm about to start getting emotional. Like, to know that like I have had that type of impact on somebody else's life because I've chosen to invest my time in helping people and just not even always giving advice, just being there to listen. Like that's what I want to do because I'm tired of like seeing people hurt. Like I've been there. We've both been there. We've both wanted to take our lives, have tried to take our lives. And like ever since that day, I've never, sorry to like put your business out there, but I know that this is a safe space for us. Like we've both been there, and I'm like, for the rest of my life, I want to dedicate my life to making sure that anyone who comes in contact with me never feels that way, never ever feels the weight of not wanting to exist. So like that's what I feel like I'm dedicating my life to. Now, for as the question that you asked, what medium should that be through? My voice, my words. And that's my power, that's my gift. Like whether it's through poetry, whether it's through music, even though I can't sing, whether it's through talking to people, like my voice is my power. Like literally I feel like God's gift to me was like my words. Everyone my whole life has always told me, oh, you're so good with words, or like, oh, you're so good at poetry or writing and stuff like that, and like you're good at like taking something hard to understand and like breaking it down into like simple terms and like helping people realize things. So like my words, like that's the medium. And just like however that's going to play out, like whether this show, this podcast pops off, or like whether I do it some other way. Like I hate social media, but I always feel like I have to be on there. Like when I took that 4-month hiatus, I was so happy. I'm still happy, but like now that I'm back on there, I'm like, I don't like it. Like I hate that we're in a world that we feel like we have to be on here to be connected. But like this is about to be posted on social media too, so it's like, bro, like how else do you reach people, you know, in this day and age? So yeah, my medium is like, is simple terms, my voice, my words, my empathy, my compassion, my yearn to listen to people's stories and like help them realize that like I'm not the answer to your problems. I'm going to help you realize you're the answer. You're the healing to your problem. Like that's what I want to do. So I hope that answered your question. I don't know, like
it did actually. And I want to say something. I love that about you, and I love just how caring you are. And one thing I'm gonna say, when people might see this and say, "Oh, she's not working. Oh, you graduated to college. Why aren't you getting a job?" Sometimes when you are chasing your goals and you're the type of person that you are, a loving, caring, helping individual, sometimes you don't have to chase that monetary value. Just by being the person you are, it comes back to, like, I'm a firm believer in you get what you put out. If you put out good things in the world, you put out great effort, you put out great energy, you're gonna get back great energy. You're gonna get a great effort. Not and the universe is weird, so sometimes you may not always get what you feel like you deserve, but sometimes you're gonna realize maybe that is what I deserve. Like, and that's what I love about you. So people gonna see this and try to like, someone's gonna see this and be like, oh, she's not working. She had a degree. What was all that work for college for?
right,
What is
they're
she
about to be
doing?
like, yo, Sydney's a bum. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, like
well, a bum I'll be because I'm a blessed bum.
exactly. Gonna be exactly. I say it like this. I'll take it into this term where where people might more understand the more demographic is. Sometimes you gotta act broke to get rich.
Facts.
So in this case, sometimes you gotta give up something to get rich. You gave up the choice to work, and maybe not rich financially, but rich in your life. Like rich people take rich and always equate it to money. You can be rich in money and poor as a person.
Yeah.
You see it with the president. You literally. That's why he got COVID.
Hey.
And man, he said it didn't exist. The universe had a way of telling him. I seen a tweet since we're talking about social media that said the authors of 2020 are great writers. They said coronavirus was supposed to be the enemy, and now it's turned out to be the villain that saves us from 45. That is nuts.
Yeah.
But like to say to you, and then another thing, as you just seen with all that passion that you just had, all that passion, that feeling, emotion you had, A lot of commitment comes from just taking that passion and channeling it into to physical thing. So all that passion that you just had, all that energy that you had, I love to see it. So now just take all that energy and just channel it into one thing. Sit there and channel all that energy into a jar. Let's say your project is a jar. Channel all that energy into a jar like a savings account. When your jar fills up and you save, you're saving up to get something.
Yeah.
So your energy and passion is the jar of the project. The project, when it's full, the project is what you get. And what you get is what you give. You give to the store. Like when you buy a TV, you give it to the store.
Yeah.
And then you get what you wanted. The final product is what you wanted. And that's what I want to see. I want to see you take all the energy you just had and just put it in that jar, put it there, and just give it. Just give it to what you want. And then you'll get what you want. I tell people this all the time. And I need to start taking my own advice.
That's how I'm feeling. I need to take my own advice sometimes.
But literally, like, and another thing, like I said, the uncertainty is another thing I want to talk about too, and I know I'm jumping points, but sometimes people don't do things because they're uncertain of how the masses will react to what they do, and it puts a fear on things.
Yes.
As a creative, so I'm just going back like this is my biggest fear of putting music out is is I don't want you to not like it, but but I've got over that fear of I understand. Not everyone's gonna like what you do. Not everyone's gonna relate to you. Not everyone's gonna feel what you feel. Not everyone's gonna like what you like. But if you're you to the 100% core, at least they can say, "Hey, he's being him."
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
That's
so
what Tyler.
Yeah, so that's what I want you to do. I really want you to take all that passion because you have so much passion for so many different things. So just like I said, so many different things, but just okay, one of those things, sit down there, put that passion that you have for that one thing, put it in that jar, like a savings account, like a piggy bank. Once the bank is full, once you got your goal, then you create what you want. So when you create, you're buying what you want. Then you get what you want after you buy, because that's what you were saving up for, correct?
Right.
So look at it like that, and then it won't be looking at it as. Then you're looking at it as, look what I just did. Now on to the next thing. And it will become easy. It'll become repetitive.
Yeah. I love you. I just need you to say that. I do.
I love
I'm
you
about to
too.
have you take over amateur therapy. Come on, Dr. Jefferson. Come on, Dr. Jefferson.
I can barely drop an album.
LOL. We'll see if we get to drop this. No, I'm going to. I'm committing to this. I needed you to be here for the first thing because you always hold me accountable. I'm like, anything that has Jawuan a part of it, I'm always gonna finish it because you hold me accountable. Like you crack the whip. So I love you. But I think that was a great talk. So I think it's a good time for us to wrap up. And for every episode, I'm always gonna have 3 questions to wrap up for my guests, even though it's really been like I've been the guest today. But I want you to answer these questions for me. So
All right.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
How would you define healing?
The process of getting away from what hurt you.
That's beautiful. All right, next question. What would you call this chapter of your life?
We keeping it PG. I don't know what's going on. That's exactly what it's called. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Like unknown. I would call this chapter in my life unknown caller.
Unknown caller. LOL. Do you want to expand upon that a little bit?
Because I have no absolute idea what's going on in my life right now. I'm still in school. I'm trying to figure out. It could be May. I graduate. It could be December. I don't know what that says.
Yeah.
I'm making music. I get responses from some big dudes. I get told I suck by my friends. I don't know. So I was like, all right. And then it's like uncertainty of what can happen in life. Like I'm actually an adult now. Like I gotta fix my credit and like buy a house and stuff. Like like eventually have kids.
Yes.
And I guess the unknown part is I don't know. I was watching Naruto the other day. And it was part 1. There was Shikamaru was looking at the clouds and he said he has cloud envy. And I kind of felt that. I was like, I wish I could be a cloud, like just carelessly floating through the world, like not a care in the world.
Yeah.
Like everybody does things to get like a like a life they envision, but the life they envision sometimes just the average life. People want kids, they want a good house, they want a good job, they want a good job and then retire, they want to retire and then take care of their kids. There's no, there's no dynamicy to that. I want a dynamic life, I guess. I don't want to sit there to the status quo. The status quo is annoying. Who made the status quo? I don't
Yeah.
want to do that anymore. So yeah, it's an unknown part of my
Almost
life.
made the status quo. Like, all right. Thank you for sharing that. And expanding upon that question. I appreciate it, and I'm sure the listeners will appreciate it too. Because, listen, I know, especially throughout this pandemic and things and all this crap that's going on in the world, a lot of people are probably like, "Yeah, my this chapter of my life is also the unknown." So that's hella relatable. So for this last question, it's pretty much: do you have any last words to leave people with a piece of you?
Um, with a piece of me. Sometimes in life, you just gotta shut up and listen.
Mm,
You know, just listen. Not everything needs to be spoken. You don't have to talk all the time.
yeah.
When you're talking, or you're trying to formulate a response, or you're just thinking of other things while someone's talking to you, you're missing out on some good stuff. You're missing out on what someone may deem to be important. So sometimes just shut up and listen to people because you'll probably learn more and you'll probably take more in and you'll probably in return become a better person with all the knowledge you get. So just shut up and listen and be nice to everybody. Drink your water. Um, don't disrespect anybody on Beyonce's internet.
Drink your water. Y'all heard it here first. Shut up and listen. Be kind. Be nice to each other. Drink your water. And something about Beyonce's followers.
Yeah, yeah. No, don't disrespect anyone on Beyonce's internet.
Yes.
And shout out Rihanna. I wasn't able to secure the draws yesterday, but
Well, shout out Robin. We love her.
yeah, I want some Fenty draws. If Rihanna, if you ever see this, just send me the pack, large or XL, preferably XL. You see that?
No, let's aim for large because you're taking off one C from thick. So listen, that'll force you to go for your fitness goals. But anyways, thank you for joining me today. I'm so happy that it was you. I wouldn't have wanted it to be anyone else but you for me to kick off this journey. And thank you to all of you for tuning in, watching, if you're watching, listening on the podcast if you're listening. And we'll be back with amateur therapy next time. Peace and love.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.